So this will be the equation now. Now again in this equation, this mu m is again a constant, that is magnetic moment associated with individual dipole. So mu m into c, it is -1 to 1, and it is x into e raised to power ax into dx. So this is first function, this is second function. Let us solve the integration. So mu m into c, okay, first function, that is x into integration of second, that is e raised to power ax divided by a, minus integration of derivation of first, that is 1, integration of second, that is e raised to power ax divided by a, okay, and limits will be -1 to +1. Mu m into c. See, the a will be constant, and again it is common, so I will take out of the it out of the integration. So x into e raised to power ax minus integration of e raised to power ax, so e raised to power ax divided by a, and again final limits will be -1 to +1. Okay, now it is mu m c divided by a. Now let us put the limits. So x is equal to, means first we will put the upper limit. So 1 into e raised to power a, so e raised to power a minus e raised to power a divided by a. So this is the upper limit, minus lower limit, that is minus e raised to power minus a, okay, and minus e raised to power minus a divided by a. So it is equals to mu m into c divided by a. Okay, now let us solve this. What we can write, this minus will be plus, okay, minus will be plus, so e raised to power minus a, so e raised to power a, this first and this second, then e raised to power a plus e raised to power minus a, okay, and you see minus sign and minus again plus sign, minus again plus sign. So I will just rewrite it first. So e raised to power a divided by a, minus plus, so plus e raised to power minus a divided by a. Okay, so mu m into c divided by a, again e raised to power a plus e raised to power minus a. I will take minus sign common. Over here. So it will be, I will write this first, e raised to power minus a, no, I am taking minus sign common. So with this it will become e raised to power a minus e raised to power minus a and divided by a. Okay, now again I know the value of c. C is equal to n into a divided by e raised to a minus e raised to power minus a. So let us put the value, mu m into c. C means what? N into a divided by e raised to power a minus e raised to power minus a, and again a, and again this bracket. Okay, so this a will get cancelled, and again e raised to power a minus e raised to power minus a. So I have to divide, okay, with this particular identity. So e raised to power a, e raised to power minus a, but here it is minus sign, okay, and again I can take this a over here. So you see here I will have to write e raised to a minus e raised to minus a, and here e raised to a minus e raised to minus a. So e raised to a minus e raised to minus a will get cancelled, and I will get this final thing. So where I should write, yes, I don't need this right now. Okay, so expression for magnetization, that is m, and m is equal to, remember this a is also cancelled, so mu m or n times mu m, yes, and yes, in the bracket it is e raised to power a plus e raised to power minus a, e raised to power a minus e raised to power minus a, and minus 1 by a. okay, minus 1 by a. Now what is this? This is nothing but cot h function, okay, and variable is a, cot h a. So it is nothing but n into mu m, okay, cot h a minus 1 by a. This is the expression for magnetization. This is the expression for magnetization. Magnetization in the presence of external magnetic field. Okay, so this much magnetization would be there. Now this function cot h a minus 1 by a is called as Langevin function. Langevin's function, and it is denoted by L of a, So finally what I can write? I can write magnetization as n into mu m into L of a, n into mu m into L of a. Now again you see what is n? N is the total number of dipoles or total number of atoms in that particular paramagnetic gas, and mu m is the magnetic moment of one atom or one dipole, okay, magnetic moment of one atom or the one dipole. So what this number is telling us? This is the magnetic moment of one dipole in the direction of magnetic field, in the direction which is completely aligned with the magnetic field actually. So n into mu m tells us that all the magnetic moments, they are aligned in the direction of external magnetic field. All the magnetic moments will be aligned in the direction of external magnetic field. Now this is the ideal case, and this particular thing is denoted by another letter ms, where ms is called as saturation magnetization. Okay, it means that ms means what? All the magnetic dipoles are aligned in the direction of external magnetic field, are completely aligned in the direction of external magnetic field, which is the ideal case, and therefore it is called as a saturation magnetization. Means above this it is not possible, above this the alignment is not possible, and this will be more, this value will be more than m, because m is the magnetization, means the number of dipoles which are aligned in the direction of external magnetic field, and it will not be completely aligned. There will be only some atoms whose magnetic moments will be aligned in the direction of magnetic field. So this value of this m will always be less than this ms. Okay, so what I can write, this is also vector quantity, so m will be equal to ms into L of a, or this m divided by ms will be equal to L of a, which is nothing but the Langevin function, Now if you plot this Langevin function, then you will get the curve like this. So if you plot this Langevin function, okay, on the x-axis you can have a value of a, and a is nothing but mu mb divided by kbt. Okay, remember we have put the value for mu mb divided by kbt is equal to a. Okay, so on the x-axis there will be a, and on the y-axis suppose there is a magnetization m is plotted, then the curve, this Langevin function curve is like this, okay. So it gets saturated, and this magnetization is saturating, so this particular maximum value of magnetization is nothing but the saturation magnetization, okay. And we know that this value is never attained, because it is not possible that all the atomic magnets are aligned in the direction of external magnetic field, okay. Because of the thermal vibrations, the molecules will be randomly oriented only. Okay, so this value is not attained, but when this value will be attained, this value will be attained for larger value of a. When a will be very, very large, then only we can have this saturation magnetization, which is the very, very ideal case. So normally at normal temperatures, what will happen? The value of a would be small, because this value will not be attained. Therefore what should be the allowed value of a? The allowed value of a would be small, and in this small value you will see that the curve is a linear, this Langevin function curve is nearly linear curve, okay. And for this small value of a, the value of magnetization will also be a smaller, So if A is small, then what we can write? A is small means what? This numerator must be smaller than the denominator. Therefore, mu m into B must be less than Kb into T. Means temperature is greater, and if the temperature is greater, then this factor mu m b will be always smaller, and then we will have less A, and if we have the less A, then the normal behavior can be observed. Okay, now let us calculate the Langevin function. Let us again calculate the Langevin function for the small value of A. Now what is Langevin function? Langevin function is L of A is equal to this thing, e raised to power A plus e raised to power minus A divided by e raised to power A minus e raised to power minus A minus 1 by A. Now what is e raised to power A? How it can be written? E raised to power A can be written as a series. So it is 1 plus A square by 2 factorial plus that dash. Okay. So this is the expansion of e raised to A, then plus e raised to minus A, it is 1 minus A plus A square by 2 factorial minus that dash. Okay, divided by e raised to power A. So again 1 plus A square by 2 factorial plus that dash, again with a minus sign, again 1 minus A plus A square by 2 factorial minus that dash, and on the right hand side it is minus 1 by A. Okay, now how it can be solved? You see, 1 plus 1 it is 2, then plus A here and minus A here. So plus A minus A gets cancelled. A square by 2 factorial plus A square by 2 factorial, because here also there is a plus sign. So A square by 2 factorial, so it is plus 2A square by 2 factorial, divided by, you see, 1 minus 1. So this 1 will get cancelled, plus A, and here minus will get plus. So plus A means what? It will be plus twice A. Then A square by 2 factorial with a plus sign, A square by 2 factorial with a minus sign, because this minus will make this plus sign as a minus sign. Okay. So minus plus is minus, so minus A square by 2 factorial and plus A square by 2 factorial, so they will be cancelled out. So if they are cancelled out, what is the next thing? Then? Here what is the next term? It is A cube by 3 factorial. Here also it is A cube by 3 factorial. Okay. Here it is A cube by 3 factorial, minus plus A cube by 3 factorial plus A cube by 3 factorial means what? Plus twice A cube by 3 factorial, and 3 factorial is nothing but 6. Okay, and on the right hand side it is 1 by A. We are approaching towards the calculation of paramagnetic susceptibility, because we are finding the classical theory of paramagnetism. It means that we want to find out the expression for paramagnetic susceptibility, and just now we have found the expression for magnetization. Okay, and but that expression of magnetization is in the terms of Langevin function. So we have to see that under normal condition what should be the possible value of Langevin function. Okay, and in order to find the possible value of Langevin function, we are expanding this Langevin function, and we will see what comes next. Okay, so 2 can be taken common. This Langevin function A, L of A is equal to 2 can be taken common here. So 2 is common. So 1 plus A square by 2 factorial. See, only 2 is taken common from the numerator. So A square by 2 factorial will be there, divided by, again 2 will be common. So 2 will be common, and it will be 2 can be common or 2A can be common. Okay, 2A will be common, and 1 plus here it will be A square by 6, and it is 1 by A. So 2 will get cancelled, and let us solve this now. Let us cross multiply, take the LCM first. Okay, so A into A, that is A square 1 plus A square by 6, cross multiply it. So multiply with the a plus a cube by 2. 2 factorial is nothing but 2 with a minus sign now, minus a into 1 plus a square by 6. 1 plus a square by 6. Let us expand again. Okay, this plus a minus a, plus a minus a, it will get cancelled. Okay, a cube by 2, a cube by 2 okay, a cube by 2 yes, this will be cancelled. Don't get confused, just expand as just follow the steps, okay, whatever it takes. So a cube by 2, let us multiply minus a and minus a cube by 6, minus a cube by 6, correct. And in the denominator it will be a square plus a4 a raised to power 4 divided by 6. Now plus a minus a will get cancelled. A cube by 2 minus a cube by 6. With a minus sign. Okay. So a cube by 2, a cube by 6. So what will be the LCM will be 6, 3 thrice a cube minus a cube, means twice a cube. Okay. And on the denominator it will be, okay, a square plus a4 a raised to power 4 divided by 6. Okay. So obviously okay, thrice a cube minus a cube, that will be twice a cube by 6. And again let us cross multiply, 6a square plus a4 a raised to power 4 divided by 6. So this 6 goes down. So finally what we are left with? We are left with L of a is equal to twice a cube divided by 6a square plus a4 a raised to power 4. Now we had already told you that the normal behavior will be there for small values of a, means a is considerable small. Now if a is considerable small, this a raised to power 4 can be neglected. This a raised to power 4 can be neglected. Therefore this Langevin function is nearly equal to twice a cube divided by 6a square. Okay. So finally it is equal to a divided by 3, a divided by 3. So L of a approaches, for small value of a, this Langevin function approaches the value of a divided by 3, a by 3. Now what is a? That we already know. A is equal to, it means that L of a is equal to mu mb divided by 3 kbt. Okay, so this will be the value of Langevin function for small values of a. Now if this is the value of Langevin function, okay, then what will be the value of this thing, magnetization again? Okay, what will be the value of magnetization then? The value of magnetization would be this m is equal to ms into Langevin function. Langevin function is mu m into b divided by thrice kbt. Now what is ms? Ms is this n into mu m. It is n, capital N into mu m. So mu m into mu m is nothing but mu m square. Okay, mu m into mu m is nothing but mu m square. This b is nothing but mu 0 h. B is nothing but mu 0 h. Okay, this is the value of magnetization. Now what is the paramagnetic susceptibility then? Paramagnetic susceptibility is m divided by h. M is this thing, it is mu 0 n mu m square h divided by 3 kbt and finally h. So h also gets cancelled. Paramagnetic susceptibility, that is volume susceptibility, is equal to mu 0 n mu m square divided by 3 kBt. So this is the expression. This is the expression for paramagnetic susceptibility. This is the expression for paramagnetic susceptibility. Okay. Now in this expression also, this mu 0 is constant, n is constant, this mu m is also constant, 3 is constant, and kb is also constant. It is Boltzmann constant. Okay. So we can put another constant for this value, and we can write chi is equal to c divided by t, where c is equal to this constant. C is equal to this constant. Okay. So c divided by t, it means that this chi is inversely proportional to temperature. This chi is inversely proportional to temperature, or the paramagnetic susceptibility is inversely proportional to temperature. Paramagnetic susceptibility is inversely proportional to temperature. This is called as Curie law. This is called as Curie law, means the paramagnetic susceptibility is inversely proportional to temperature. This particular fact is called as a Curie law. This particular fact itself is called as a Curie law. Okay. Now this expression is quite true. It is applicable to various substances, gases, etc. Okay. But for most of the substances it is also not true. Okay. So we have to modify this particular theory, which is called as the Langevin's theory of paramagnetism. Now what modification it takes, that we will see later on. Okay. But before that, we have to draw the graphs also, means how this fact that susceptibility is inversely proportional to temperature, that can be explained. So if this is chi and this is T, then you see at lower temperature the susceptibility is high, but as you increase the temperature the susceptibility goes down. Okay. So by this graph you can explain this Curie law. Okay. You can also draw 1 by chi on the y axis or 1 by t on the x axis. In that case you will get the straight line. You will get the straight line. Okay. So this is about the paramagnetism, okay, or the classical theory of paramagnetism. Now what modification was introduced in order to fit this law for all the substances, that we will see in the next lecture. Thank you.